Okay, if you've been watching my videos, you probably realize that I don't fit in with regular culture that well. And it turns out a lot of other people don't either. Mostly people who like to do things other than sit on their butts and watch TV all day. So, I and several of my friends have decided that we're going to buy an island and start our own little community there. Now, at least two of these people I can think of just off the top of my head, I met kind of through YouTube. So I'm going to kind of throw this out there and hopefully get some responses from other people who might be interested in this idea. Now it's got to be specific people, you know, it can't just be anyone. So I'm going to lay down basically the idea here. So roughly everyone will chip in $10,000 and get about 10 acres of property on this island. And some of the areas we're looking at right now are maybe off the coast of Nova Scotia, down at this little southern end. It's kind of a nice area. Possibly Maine. I wouldn't want to get too far down the east coast of the US because then you get into hurricanes and like black widows and brown recluses and poisonous things. And anyway, maybe looking at the west coast or maybe Australia or New Zealandish, but I mean there's lots. It's still definitely up in the air, but probably the leading spot right now is somewhere in the southern end of Nova Scotia. Okay, the island obviously won't be perfect circle, but the rough layout will say we have an island that's kind of circular-ish. It's probably like a blob or something, but then we'll cut it into cut it up like a pizza. So everyone will get a chunk that goes from the shoreline to the middle, but then there will be a section in the middle, probably like another 10 acres, that'll be reserved for like community center. And that's where, oops, I moved the island. And that's where we'll build like, I don't know, some kind of community center, like, whoosh, maybe a real fancy community center or something, I don't know. And then, you know, that can be where the tennis court is, and then, you know, like where maybe the internet will come in there, and then everyone can share the internet off the middle of there, and maybe, I don't know, there'll be stuff there. and then everyone will build whatever they want on their own piece of property. Like someone over here might want to build like a fancy mansion, I don't know. Everyone can do whatever they want. And then someone over here, oh, maybe we'll have a piano in the community center, because, you know, some people like to play music. And maybe someone will want a house that looks like a giant baby, because they're weird. I don't know. And then maybe someone will build like a gazebo, and then maybe someone on their property will be like, I don't want any technology at all. I'm gonna have a horse and buggy. And, you know, stuff like that. And then, you know, maybe someone will have like a cow, and they'll be like, oh, I get lots of milk. I'm gonna see if I can see who wants milk, and then I'll go on delivery runs with my milk and stuff. And then, you know, other people can build houses, and then maybe this guy over here is like, oh, I like tacos a lot. I'm building a taco shack, and I'm gonna sell people tacos. And then maybe someone over here is like, I love trains, I'm gonna have trains, I'm gonna build a train on my part. And then maybe this guy over here is like, I'm going to live like a mountain monk with my best friend who is also a mountain monk, and we will do nothing but eat leaves, or I don't know, whatever. And then, you know, some people have boats and stuff. Well, probably a lot of people have boats. So then there'll be some kind of community boat somewhere for like people who don't want to have their own boat, just want to be able to get on off the island, of course. Anyway, and you know, unlike my part, I'm probably gonna wanna, well, I'll probably build it like a house first, but it'll be like a weird house, because I'm like a weirdo, so maybe I'll have a big robot house or something, because I like doing that kind of stuff. And then, like, I'll probably build a garden, because, like, I like food a lot. Oops. I dropped a cow. Oh, and speaking of food, maybe I'll have my own cow, because I like cereal and stuff. This is obviously not to scale. Like, a cow doesn't take up 10 acres of property. I mean, you could fit, like, 1,000 cows in there. But anyway, and then, you know, I'm gonna want to build like cool robot construction equipment to build things, and you know, help other people build their things, because maybe this guy over here is like wants to build this house, and he's like, I don't really know how to do it, and I'll be like, let me come over with my robot construction vehicle and help you out or whatever. And then, you know, I'm gonna be wanting to do like all kinds of crazy experiments on my part, and then, you know, they won't all work out super well. Sometimes things will go wrong, but whatever, you know, and then I'll have all these other cool people who want to do stuff, and some of them will want to help out with stuff, and some won't, and other people will want to interact with other people, and there won't be a lot of rules on the island. See, that's the thing, there'll be a lot of freedom to do whatever you want. So, like, the first rule of the island will be, do whatever you want, as long as it doesn't interfere with anyone else. As soon as it interferes with someone else, then, you know, it kind of becomes a problem. Like say this guy over here builds his house there and has solar panels all over his house, and maybe this guy over here is directly south of him and he decides to put up a 400-foot tall tower right in front of his solar panels. I mean, that wouldn't be cool. You just move it over or something. Anyway, And then maybe someone over here wants to build a giant hand to be in. But that would be fine. It wouldn't mess with anyone. Oh yeah, and there's going to be no drugs on the island. That kind of goes along with rule number 1, sort of, because a lot of these sort of communities have gotten started and then just turned into cool places to hang out and get stoned because some idiot decides that and then brings his friends over, and next thing you know, the whole place is wrecked. So we're just having no drugs. We want people who are like excited about life and like get their highs from like doing stuff. Like I get super excited about building robots and like airplanes and making stuff and stuff like that and exercising. And, you know, other people get excited about other stuff. Like this guy's excited about milk delivery, and someone loves tennis and whatever. Anyway, I want people who like doing stuff instead of like, you know, shooting themselves up with crap to feel good. Oh, and with things like the internet, say the internet comes in here and like people want to share it and stuff, and this guy's like, oh, I don't want internet, man. He doesn't have to have anything to do with it. That's totally fine. Everything is like, if you want to do it, cool. If you don't, don't. If you want to do it, you got to get together with other people and help out. But you can't. No one's being forced to go into anything just because, you know, other people are doing it. Now, a few concerns people have. One is like, people are like, oh, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. Well, I have like a whole bunch of property here. I mean, like, my place in Vermont is kind of like an experimental place. Like, I built this whole dome here, and it cost $2,500, and it was lots of work, and I learned all kinds of stuff, and you know, people can come here and build stuff and experiment and learn what it's like to start from scratch and stuff like that. Oh, and, you know, just because we're starting from scratch doesn't mean you can't have, like, you know, the plumbing you want or whatever. You can just build it any way you want. Okay, but then guys are like, yeah, but I'm like never gonna meet a girl like doing something like this. Well, actually, more than half of the people interested at the moment are girls, and girls are totally into this stuff, don't worry. I mean, not all of them. It's kind of like 50-50. But you don't want that other half of girls who are like, oh, I wouldn't dare ever do anything like that. Because that girl is gonna be a pain in the butt. The cool girl is gonna be like the one that's like, whoa, that's so cool! Anyway. And then girls are like, well, how am I ever gonna meet a guy if I go to some island in the middle of nowhere? Well, trust me, if you're a girl and you go up to some guy and you're like, yeah, you know, I live on this island and there's like, you know, giant robots walking around on it and stuff, and I have my own garden that I make my own food from, and I have chickens, and it's pretty awesome, and, you know, stuff like that. Dude's gonna be like, whoa, that's so awesome, and you're gonna score tons of points, so don't even worry about that. Besides, there's gonna be cool dudes on the island anyway, like, you know, like me. Okay, maybe I'm not the best example, but there will be like smart, creative, intelligent, rugged dudes and girls. There'll be cool people. Don't worry about like being cut off from everyone. That's kind of like the opposite of the point of the island. The point of the island is to be like, is to meet other cool people who are interested in doing things. Oh, and if you think I'm just making this up and it's not really gonna happen, just go watch some of the other videos. Go watch the whole thing, and then you'll get how it happens. Oh, and if I have to say damn it, I'm doing it, damn it! Just so you know, it's for real. Okay, now a couple questions. One, does anyone like have an island for sale or know of one, or have some kind of resources that are useful other than like easy to Google things? Because that would save me, you know, some research time. Oh, I almost forgot one of the points of the island is to have a really cool place to like have kids, because I want to have a family and I don't see a lot of cool places for kids to grow up, and I would awesome to grow up on an island with cool stuff going on. If you might be interested in this kind of thing, send me a message. I'll put my email address, and you know, maybe send a picture of yourself and a little bit about yourself, like why you'd want to do this kind of thing and how into it you are. And if you're like, you know, I'm not sure if I'm really into it that much, don't worry about it. I mean, if you want to talk about it more, that's totally fine. And if you're like, I'm 100% totally into it, I'm still going to want to talk to you more about it anyway. But anyway, you know, give a little bit of information, maybe some things you'd want to do on the island. Because if someone's like, I would like to build some nuclear bombs and set them off, they're not going to be, I'm not going to be okay with that. But, you know, just send a little bit of information about yourself and what you want to do, maybe where you came from. It doesn't really matter. Just ramble on in the message. It doesn't matter. I think I got all that in within 10 minutes. Oh, no drugs means no smoking, and probably no drinking too. If you need to go get drunk, you can go like 2 miles offshore and go get bombed and whatever. Just come back sober. I guess it's fine if you want to make your section a nudist colony. Just be respectful that other people might not want their section to be a nudist colony. Oh, and the community center, and definitely my center, is going to be full of awesomeness. So if you can't handle having an awesome neighbor or area, then you might have to not be involved. might be concerned that you don't have $10,000, but this isn't happening for 2 years, and it's easy to save that much money in 2 years. If you need help figuring out how, just let me know. You should be able to save like 5 times that in 2 years without difficulty.